Another day, another chica with me. So, today I want to talk about spiritual awakening. Oh my god, I'm so excited to talk about this. You guys have no idea. Obviously, narinig yun na yung boses ko. Like, my voice suddenly became so high-pitched. I'm excited to talk about this because this is a topic that I've always wanted to share. It's just that I don't think I've really found the right people to talk about this topic with. I feel like I need to talk about it with selected few people because not everybody believes in it. Not everybody shares the same beliefs or like the values that it has attached to it. But anyway, of course, this is such a really broad topic, but I want to talk about spiritual awakening in general. What it's like to go through a spiritual awakening because I don't think everybody really knows about the things that you go through when you are into your spiritual journey and then all of a sudden you're just suddenly awakened, and it's a really crazy experience, but it's really worth it. I'm gonna attach a meme that I find really funny because often people think that spirituality or spiritual awakening is all about like being a yogi master, being all love and light, being all peace and serenity and like calm and like butterflies and sparkles and birds chirping outside, basically like living a Disney princess fantasy or something like that. But in reality, spiritual awakening is one hell of a ride. It's so chaotic. It's something that, a lot of times you question your own sanity, you question your own beliefs. It's literally having all your beliefs, it's all gonna crash down, only for you to like rebuild yourself again. It's basically like removing yourself from this belief system that you've had growing up and replacing it with the things that are challenging your limiting beliefs. You're replacing it with new ideas, stripping you off of everything that you thought you once knew, and replacing those things with new set of beliefs, new set of values. And in doing that, it makes you question so many things about yourself because number one, nobody is really out here to guide you, unlike when we were younger. We had our parents guide us through our growth. They're our moral compass, basically, until we really get used to it, until they really instill in our heads what is right and what is wrong, what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to, what is the right path, what is not the right path. And it's one of the easiest things in life, because you have guidance. You have someone is, directing you where to go, which path you're headed, but spiritual awakening is more on removing all of those belief system, all the things that your parents taught you, the society taught you, your coworkers taught you, your church taught you. It's literally stripping it all away and knowing what's really down here in your core, knowing your purpose, knowing what you're really good at, what do you really want to do. Because when we were still children, we are the most present human being ever. And that is the reason why when we were children, everything seemed so easy. If we wanted something, we throw a tantrum. We allow the people around us allow us to feel what we feel. If we want to cry, we cry it out. If we want to sleep, we sleep it out. Everything is so easy. And we as humans are built and designed to be like that. It's the society who, built this whole system to cage us in a box. Being spiritually awakened is removing yourself inside that box and knowing that you are a conscious being and that you are not defined by your struggles, your achievements, the things that you did. You are not defined by all these factors outside of you. But it's more on you being self-aware that you are a complete awareness and that you are the master of your own life. That nobody can ever control you and nobody can ever tell you what to do, what not to do. And that's where I think it gets crazy because again, nobody is really guiding you through it. It's literally just you listening to your own voice in your head and really getting in touch with your intuition, with your higher self, higher being. It's really when you start to connect with yourself on that level, things start to shift. Like things are just so different because then there are so many limiting beliefs. It once kept you safe. It once served you. But it will only serve you to a survival sense, like in a survival instinct sense, for you to be able to fit in so that people will not make fun of you, or so that you will be part of the society or part of something like a community. And people don't talk about when you get into that spiritual awakening journey, like it's amazing. It's just that it's so lonely. It is a lonely journey because it's all about self-discovery, discovering yourself. I'm not saying like I suddenly realized I want to be this, I want to have this spiritual awakening, and me saying that it's a whole lot of self-discovery. It's because you literally strip everything away that you once believed in. And when you have nothing to believe in anymore, this is what we call ego death. When you have literally nothing to believe in anymore that you once you held on to those beliefs, and you thought this was your character, this was your core, you start to question, who am I? And why am I here? You start to question so many things about your life, about yourself, that you didn't really question before. Because why would you? You had this whole structure in your life that was built by the people around you, that was built around you, then it was built for you. All you had to do was follow. It was like, okay, when you're born, you need to go to school. After you go to school, you go to college. You go to college, you find a job, find a partner, get married, and then you die. That is what we are taught to do. But that is not how we're supposed to live. I mean, it is a cute design. It is a very simple and straightforward design, but it's a very safe design for us. And it keeps all of us in a leash, and it keeps us in a system where we are not meant to thrive. It's a place where it's so comfortable that we often think that, you know what, I'm this age, I'm supposed to be doing this already. Like, oh, I've finished college at this age. Okay, I'm in the right path. I'm in the right path. Now it's time for me to look for a job. And then after I look for a job, I need to make sure that I have the stable job so I can save up enough. And then maybe I can find a potential partner. Once I do that, we're going to build a family. You know, we're going to get married, build a family. And then we're going to live our life, stop working. And then the cycle continues when you get it, when you get your own family. And then you just wait to die. At some point, like, yeah, you kind of think like, oh yeah, you know, that's how life is. But when you really step out of that idea and you see yourself like, is this really what I want to do? And I feel like it's such a taboo topic because, again, we are designed by the society to be like that. And I think this is why people call it like escaping the matrix. Because it really is escaping the matrix. It's escaping the system that was built to cage us. And spiritual awakening is going to, again, it's going to make you question that, and it's going to make you feel crazy, and it's going to question yourself so many things. And when you start asking questions and when you start getting the answers that you really need, the next step is you challenge yourself. And how can I do this? How can I do the things that I really want to do? Because we are designed that, you know, the only place that we can find financial freedom is through working 9 to 5 jobs. That's why a lot of people are so depressed, because we want to do other things, but because money is a currency that we have here in the 3D reality, everybody just wants to do something to get it. But you know, like when I had this awakening, I was like, I don't want to do 9 to 5 jobs anymore. I don't want to be told what to do by someone who doesn't even matter to me. I mean, I don't have anything against people who are really into their jobs or into their careers. Like, by all means, you do you. I forgot to say this disclaimer head on. Like, if you are not someone who is open into these ideas, then obviously this video is not meant for you. This video are for people who are willing to listen and who are open-minded enough to hear other people's ideas, opinions, or beliefs. And if that's not you, then I suggest just scroll up. This video is not made for you. And I'm just here to, again, share my journey and my path to my spiritual awakening, because it's something that I'm really, really passionate about, and I love it. And I really hope that I have a lot of people in my circle where I can talk about these things, but it's just that, I feel like whenever I do talk about it to some people, I feel like they find it boring, or they find me like, oh, she's gone cuckoo. Because again, not everybody can really grasp the concept of it. And people are gonna question you, and they're gonna think like, hey, you're gone cuckoo. But yeah, I mean, here at least I just in front of the camera, and I yap and I yap and I yap, and no one's gonna say something. That's right. If you say something, you can comment it, but I'm gonna delete it. Anyway, I'm going back. Like, yeah, spiritual awakening it is love and light, because it's literally you learning how to balance the energy that you have. And it's not just about escaping the matrix, but it's also about, people often think, oh yeah, again, you're love and light, you're always so peaceful and so calm, you're probably like the Buddha, or you're on the road to enlightenment. But the thing is, in this spiritual journey, and being spiritually awakened means that you are aware of your light and your darkness. You are aware of your shadow and your light. You know your strengths, and you also know your weaknesses. And you don't run away from your weaknesses anymore. You use those weaknesses, you alchemize it, and you use it to your advantage. Because before, I used to run away from my darkness. I used to like really hide it deep down in my subconscious. I would be so afraid to, shed light into that darkness because it's dark. But then I've learned in my spiritual awakening, like the darkness are the parts of me that requires more of my attention. It requires a lot of my healing. These are the things that I need to improve on. Now, my light is there. Yeah, like they're good, because my light is the one that I used to show up to people. These are the things that I show to people whenever I interact with people. These are, how understanding I am, like some of the values that I have, or the belief system that I have. And my dark side are the ones, or my shadow self are, those things that I've really kept deep down in my subconscious, because these are like my trauma responses. These are the things like where I hide my shame, the things that I kept deep down because society told us not to be this way, not to be like that. It's really up to you how you address your shadow, and it's really important to do a lot of shadow work, because that's where you embrace your superpower. When you learn how to accept and embrace your shadow self, then you know that you are unstoppable, because people can no longer use those things against you, because that's the reason why we keep it deep down, because we are too ashamed, we are shameful, that any moment that it slips out, people are gonna judge us for it, people are gonna say mean things about you. That's why you try to just really hide it. And those are the things that we don't want people to see. But that thing is what makes us authentic. Those aren't things that we should run away from, but those are the things that require most of our attention, require most of our love. Just imagine the sun shining bright on you, like you're all light. But behind it, where the light doesn't touch you, at the back of you, you think it's not there, but in reality, it's always gonna be there. As long as there's light, there's always gonna be darkness. You cannot be all love and light without darkness and chaos. And being spiritually awakened, it's learning to really balance those energies, and knowing when to use your light and knowing when to use your darkness. Because before, when I wasn't really on this path, like I would just get triggered a lot, and then I judge myself for being triggered. I'd be like, why did I do this? Blah, yada, yada. I judge myself. I'd feel ashamed for acting that way. Then I realized I reacted that way because because the triggered part of me wanted to protect me. My dark side are parts of me that loves me the most. They want to protect me the most. The reason why we get so triggered is because we suppress them. And the more that we suppress things, the more that it persists. And then I realized, you know what? I need to accept it. I need to accept that yes, I can be unhinged. Yes, there is a crazy side of me, but I will no longer allow any triggering factors for those shadows to come out. I need to learn how to control them. I need to acknowledge that yes, I have this side of me, but it's my decision. I have the power. I have the full control and autonomy over my shadow self to dictate when they'll come out, Or if not, like, like there are sometimes like when we feel triggered, like we really want to retaliate. But then I realized, being able to control yourself and mastering yourself is the best superpower anyone could ever possess. The journey to spiritual awakening is honestly, the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. But it's also the most difficult. Like, it's so hard because, yeah, number one, nobody understands the path that you're in. You don't get to talk about the things that you're going through just with anybody. Spiritual awakening is a road and is a process of self-discovery that literally no one is there to guide you other than yourself. Literally the most beautiful thing, because it's you taking the power back. Before, if you weren't spiritually awakened, it's like you're in autopilot. But when you're spiritually awakened, or when you're in that process, you are literally taking the front seat of your own life, deciding, dictating, making the choices, making the mistakes, and taking accountability, owning it. And it's hard because not everybody, first of all, has the courage to do that. That's why this is one thing that I'm so proud of, because I feel like I already have this deeper understanding of things, where I used to get upset a lot whenever people treat me the way that I don't want to be treated. But now, like, I don't see it as that. I don't see anything as a personal attack anymore. I see things as, you're wounded. You're wounded. You're unhealed. I'm unhealed. Oh, you triggered me. Oh, there must be something in me that's that I still need to work on. There's still a wound in me that you triggered, and I need to work on that. And it's amazing because the self-awareness that you get from being spiritually awakened it's hard and it's beautiful, because you're humble enough to know that you're not perfect, but you also know that you are powerful enough to know that you can change, that you have all the power and autonomy to change what needs to be changed. And it's such a beautiful experience. Like, this is the type of hard and challenge that I love. It's challenging myself, challenging my limiting beliefs, not in a sense where, challenging myself to work harder, challenging myself to, those things are very ego driven and ego focused, but challenging myself to always be better, to challenge myself to always be kind, always be understanding, to challenge myself to always be grounded, to challenge myself to be always regulated, to always keep my composure and calm despite having chaotic environment. It's learning to balance the energy, and it's learning how to find peace within myself regardless of the external chaos that's happening to me or happening around me. It's the challenge that you face when you are around certain toxic people or toxic environment, but you remain so grounded that no matter what happens or no matter what's happening around you, you are solid with your energy. Like, the peace that you have internally is so solid that nothing can ever shake you. I mean, don't get me wrong, people also often think that being spiritually awakened, besides being all love and light, is that you're always positive. That's true, but that's also not true. Like, it's true that you always remain positive. That's the thing. But being positive doesn't mean that you're always happy, you're always joyful, you're always excited, like those things. Being positive means, despite going through a lot of struggles, despite being sad, despite grieving, despite being angry, you still know deep down that these are just emotions. Being sad, being angry, feeling those things are just emotions. Those are just, 3D sensations that you feel in your 3D reality, because you are experiencing life and you are living in this human vessel. And you are just a conscious being experiencing life in 3D reality. Most of us are so attached to our 3D reality. That is why we focus so much about the things that's around us. Most of us use our surroundings as a distraction. When you realize that you are only human experiencing these things, and we are meant to feel. For us to experience the whole package, for us to experience this whole human experience, we must feel. And that's the beauty of it. Being positive means, despite you feeling sad now, you know that, better days are coming. Or this is just a fleeting moment. The same thing that, happiness is a choice. You can be happy and sad at the same time. Being positive means it's you acknowledging that everything is temporary. Nothing is really permanent. Everything is moving, everything is changing, everything is shifting. Even the seasons change. Like the butterflies go through metamorphosis. And us humans, we go through that as well. And the more that we try to run away from it, the more that we bury ourselves with the suffering that we have, and choosing to suffer instead of choosing to heal and be in a better place is such a super powerful move. Suffering is a choice. The same way happiness is a choice. Everything is in here. That's why there's this saying. I grew up with this saying because my mom would repeatedly tell me this whenever I feel frustrated and I just don't want to try anymore. She would always tell me, and it really really stuck in my brain. What the mind can conceive, the body can achieve. And that is true. And that is why there are a lot of cancer patients who all of a sudden are cancer free. There are a lot of blind people who suddenly can see. A lot of people who couldn't walk but are able to walk. Because it always starts in here. It starts in here. If you keep telling yourself, I can't do this, I won't, those limiting statements, nothing will really ever bring you anywhere. Because if you believe in that, your body is gonna follow that. Because this is where everything starts. And you need to align this and this so that you can ascend into like a deeper understanding within yourself. Amazing, because honestly, I've always wanted to talk about spirituality before, and I just felt like I wasn't really equipped enough to talk about it. I just knew that I had a different spiritual calling. It's funny because the universe really works in mysterious ways, and then I had to let go of a lot of things. I had to learn so many things in order for me to gain this much insight and wisdom. And now it all makes sense to me. Like the things that I went through was vital for me to be here now. And this was one of my manifestations before, and now I'm here. And like I think 3 years ago, I've always wanted to start like my own channel or something where I can just yap about the things that I've learned. And at first, I wanted to talk about motherhood, but then I told myself I don't want to attach myself to anything. But this is not me attaching myself to spirituality. This is not me making spirituality my personality. It's more on me sharing insights and the things that I've learned, the things that I realized while I'm in this journey. And I still am in this journey. A spiritual journey is a lifelong journey. As long as you're walking on this earth, it's always going to be a spiritual journey. And a lot of people don't or try to not believe it. Because going through a spiritual journey means you need to address a lot of things within yourself. And a lot of times people try to run away from themselves. First of all, having the courage to stop and look at yourself in the mirror. Like really look at yourself in the mirror. Check yourself. See the things that you're doing. Reevaluate yourself. Reevaluate your decisions you did in the past. Acknowledge the mistake you did in the past. It's a lot of things to unpack. It will really humble you. And there will be a lot of cringe moments. There will be a lot of like ill moments, yucky moments. Like, why did I do that? It's ugh. But it's through those where you learn. Where you see that, what I did before was cringe, but hey, I can change that. I can do so much better than that now that I address this, now that I've looked at it in a point of view where my higher self is looking at. And it's amazing. It's one of the most amazing things. And the more that I'm into this, yes, it's really challenging. The struggles are extra hard, but the fulfillment and the achievement that I feel for myself is so great. Like, I feel so abundant within myself. Like, the happiness that I have, no one can ever get this. Nobody can ever steal this away from me. And I used to attach myself or attach my happiness to things, people, places, experiences. And the moment that I lose those things, I'm not happy. All of a sudden, I feel sad again. And then I realize, you know what? No, I get to decide when I'm happy. Like, yeah, you know what? Sometimes life sucks, but I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm here. I'm happy that I'm privileged enough to experience how life sucks sometimes. It's amazing. And it's what keeps me going. Like, I'm just so excited all the time. Like, okay, let's see. How is today going to suck? And what am I going to learn from that? What is this teaching me? Okay, today is a fun day. I love today. I bet this is the universe's gift to me. It's how you really perceive things. It changes you. The perception that you have with the world really starts in here. How you see the world, how you see things around you starts from here. Because if you think that everything is just like a factor from outside, everything is just a reflection. And yeah, I love it. I think I've been yapping, and I guess I'm just gonna make another part of this where I'm gonna dive deeper into another thing. But yeah, so that's it for spirituality for now. I love talking about it.